Hi, I'm Peggy, and I am normally on here with crypto stuff, but I do like to step back and I do like to share in my commodities. And my commodities is my specialty in oil, but one of my all-time favorites is precious metals. And I cannot get that message out there clear enough to more and more people. Read and research. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just here to be able to put out information to spark one word that I might share with you today to make you do your read and research so that your investment is one of what you want it to be. There is a lot out there to offer when it comes to the commodities market. And with everything that's happening around the globe, not just in the United States of America, this creates a different fixture of paradise where it used to be, where gold was the highfalutin, where digital currency is now taken over. So it's gold versus Bitcoin, silver versus Ethereum, and so on and so on and so on. But at the end of the day, these metals are ones that will not go away. And for someone to tell me they're not interested and they don't have it in their portfolio, I'm not going to say you're an idiot, but it's like you still need to focus on the measures, because there are things that the digital currency world in my crypto space needs to survive with technology today, so that I'm able to do this Zoom video with you, so that YouTube can continue to share my beautiful smile and dynamic words of read and research with you, so that people can share on social media through a cell phone, in their cars, on their smart TVs, on their laptops, in their office, on their computers, whatever the basis might be. So this is why commodities in the precious metals industry is so important to me. So as usual, I always like to step back with you guys, and I like to be able to share the importance and the values of what I see. But I'm also doing my read and research as to why I feel this is an important need. And you can talk about it with some of the top investors that are out there, Bezos, Microsoft, with Bill Gates. You can see a lot of interesting history in regards to it, as well as today's technologies with Elon Musk and his SpaceX, not just in digital currency. So let's get to it. So being able to share with you guys, I'm going to start out with you talking about copper. After reaching record levels in May, the metal used its construction and green energy related infrastructure. Remember those words, green energy, because remember in COVID, towards the end, the G20 and the G7 met, and their biggest focus is on going green and energy efficiency. So all of the governments around the world are working on their infrastructures. Now, copper has retreated, and then it bounced around in a tight range. With 3 months, copper rose on Wednesday on the London Metal Exchange, that's the LEM, which is one of the top areas of precious metals of being distributed, for the first time, climbing at 0.7% to $9,505 per ton. Chinese demands the most for this metal has slowed down, and traders are expecting the U.S. Federal Reserve to start withdrawing stimulus. At the same time, the supply side has mostly recovered from its COVID-19 impact on this particular production of copper. While the agency predicts a supply deficit of 153,000 tons for 2021, it expects a surplus of 190,000 tons for 2022. This compares its previous forecast of over 70,000 ton deficit and 116,000 ton surplus. Why is copper so important, you ask me? Come on, Pegs, don't bore me with such stupid information. Well, I'm here to tell you that copper is an alloy with numerous useful properties. It effectively resists corrosion and is very efficient conductor in electricity and heat. So for my dear friends that live in Texas abroad and have to constantly run the air conditioner at 60 degrees and 65 degrees, you better be appreciating what copper can do for you. Because one day when it's not there and it's not working, and your government has not proficiently suggested for you as a copper efficiency in their infrastructure bill, you're not going to be able to turn that air conditioner on. So just to give you a broad visual perspective of how I feel about this, and this is why I support copper in my portfolio as well. This is also an economic importance of the electrical power industry, that it's also a product of manufacturing and its production of industrial machinery. It is a major industrial metal because of its high ductility, malleability, its thermal and electrical conductivity, and resistance to corrosion. That this essential nutrient is our daily diet. It is antimicrobial property is becoming increasingly important to the prevention of infection. Copper is essential for modern living. That's right, modern living. Remember, we're living in a digital space of technology now. It delivers electricity and clean water into our homes, the cities, towns, villages, and makes an important contribution to substantial development. More than that, it is essential for life itself. Copper is interwoven with the story of humanity's progress. So this is just one that I would like to be able to share with you guys to say, please pay attention to what your nutrients are of substances with copper. Now I'm going to open up the copper investment source lines. I'm on trading economics for those of you that are not familiar with getting onto commodities. I like T&E. They share a lot. They give me a lot of different storylines as to what's the different commodities are doing. It holds face values into constantly updating me. I constantly get my alerts just like I do in my crypto field with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Uniswap. Copper plays a huge role in this. You can see I've automatically gone to 7 days on my charts that has definitely done its what we call the pump in the crypto space. It's definitely done its pump. It's holding its values out there for what it's circumferencing for in making sure that the market has a great measure. Now, looking at this as an overall month value of that, you can see that it's taken a huge hit from looking at it from a week, but it is still peaking at itself over the resistance lines that it is going to hold substantial value. And I just read to you the tonnage of what it's going to do. So this plays a huge welcoming value of copper into 2022. So be very careful, you guys, of what you're going to say out there and hold on to in your portfolios. I think this is an important matter as to the diversity of what this particular metal has to offer and where it's going of its substantiates and holds in its values in there in the markets. And again, you can also get on bullion and you can also get on different levels of even T&E to show you different areas that you can get into copper fields, not just in a mining source, even though the miners out there do have this for and available that you can invest in it on theirs as well. Wheaton Precious Metals is one of them that I'm very deeply involved in regards to gold, silver, and copper. You also have the Mint in the United States to be able to get on there and share different values of these different coppers. So your copper penny that you never wanted to touch and it stunk and it always smelled bad, it always left green marks in your wallet or in your pockets of your pants, guys. This is one that you definitely want to pay attention to and its values and where it's going. All right, so let's move on to the next subject line that I like to be able to share with you guys, and that's gold. Gold paired earlier loss arose above its $1,800 value of its level once again after the latest U.S. inflation data came in slightly lower than it expected, which may ease fears that the Federal Reserve will be forced to taper its bond buying soon, which is no surprise as to, okay, let's turn on the machine since we've got to create more taxes for the middle class. Spot gold gained its 0.6%, trading out on its Eastern Standard Time, trading in a near 1 week high of $1,806.10 per ounce. U.S. gold futures were up 0.7% of $1,807.90 per ounce. The U.S. Labor Department said on Tuesday in its Consumer Price Index, that's the CPI, excluding the volatile food and energy components edged up 0.1%, which is sad, coming from a fall of even during COVID of 2.9%, that in August it shorted itself of 0.3% forecast by the economists. This was the smallest gain since February following its 0.3% rise in July. The dollar declined after the inflation report, which may suggest that some of the upward pressure on inflation is beginning to wane. Right now, the gold market is still in a flux, given its inability to stab above the $1,800 level and could likely keep its consolidating going into the fear of moving on, meeting Moya added, as she stated, into its recent development of data to reinforce the view that the Fed may go slow on unwinding economic support measures and keep interest rates low. This is something that they've been trying to do since COVID came about. Good luck with that, because the real estate market's going to make a drastic change in this because they have no choice but able to move in this forward. So look out for the bonds and the yields. Here we go. Translating into this reduced opportunity cost for holding non-interest bearing bullion. So this is one that I'll also hold in value, guys, that I definitely be able to like to share with you. Taking a look at it and what its value line is, it has definitely taken a dip into the curve of looking into gold. One that I definitely hold into its value line marking. Looking at this over into the last week, you can see that it's peaked even at this time last year coming out of COVID in 2020. It held its value streamlined of, oh my gosh, are we definitely going to hit this where we were hitting it at last year? Because at this time last year, digital currency was taking into effect where gold was hitting the high rockets into the 2000 and trying to reach that barrier of a little bit over to 2100 going into the end of the year before it crashed into itself and has lowered itself back into those numbers where you can see we're falling into a graduating scale and marketing itself of this underlying for at least 1 week. Now, don't sell yourself short. I definitely believe that gold is one that you need in your portfolio. I'm sharing the top 3 of what I have and what I commemorate to you to be of an importance and diversity in your portfolio. I don't care if it's the coin or if you're doing it in a bar or you're doing it as an investment source. It's one that you definitely want to have in your market value. I strongly hold this to the relevancy that this is an important value stroke into what you need in the diverse line of your portfolio. Gold has always been around. It's not going to go anywhere. They pick on it big time into the markets on Twitter. And I just sit there and laugh to myself and think, I still need, with fiat currency doing what it's doing, I just read to you that the US dollar is waving its wand and it is decreasing instead of increasing. Globally, from a perspective, gold will hold its value for trade across the globe. And this is why I feel like that is such an important need for those that are investing in coins, bars, or getting involved with a mining company for its value. Now, last but least, I'd like to share one of the most important ones that I have big into my market, and that is silver. The largest industrial users of silver are your photographic photographers, jewelry, and electronic industries. Okay, so I just read to you what copper plays a value of being able to turn your electricity on, since that's a big source around the United States, but silver also factors into that. The biggest producers of silver are, in order, Mexico, Peru, China, then followed in a direction from Australia to Chile, Bolivia, USA, Poland, and Russia. Silver traded below $24 per its troy ounce in the 3rd week of September, not far from a near 9-month low hit of August 20th, on concerns that runaway inflation will force the US Fed to begin tampering its asset purchases scheme at a faster pace than expected. While waiting on inflation data to give further clues on the monetary policy outlook, this is why I say, pay attention, do your own read and research. It doesn't take much to click on silver. You can see what the feds are underlying. Even though you're diverse in your crypto, still hold the values. No, it doesn't take much. And I'm not saying it as a rocket scientist. I'm saying it doesn't take much to have common sense to sit at your home and look and see the values of what you have, where silver lies into that. This is why silver plays an important game. It is one of the most important elements on Earth itself, the SLV, and one of the most useful metals in modern day society. Silver's immense electrical and thermal conducting properties are perfect for electrical uses, making it highly in demand in our heavily technology-based world. As, like I said, the green ecosystem that we're going to, silver will play a huge factor into this infrastructure change on global economies everywhere. It is an industrial use. Silver is a vital component in LED chips. Oh my, there's our laptops, semiconductors, batteries, and even water purification. So the next time you want to turn on your faucet, just think there's a copper Ewing in there for the water to be clean and cleansed, and then there's the silver fine lining of its distribution for the tube lining for it to be able to come through, and even the netting to catch the last of all the chemicals that your city, state, village, or town has put into so that you can have a clean glass of water. So being this of a factor that this is with gold and other precious rare metals, silver is an important element in making almost everything in the world work. It's not just for jewelry. It's not just for the underlying. With more as our surgical tools for doctors and dentists as well. In the modern economy, silver is an essential component in nearly every industry, included but not limited to your solar energy, which will play a huge factor into these solar panels and the big old turbines that you see. I call them the big pinwheels out there, because this is going to play into a huge factor of where our electricity is going for solar energy. Medicine, that's right, medicine. Some of your top blood pressure medicine, let's face it, the majority of the people in the United States are on a blood pressure pill. This is medicine that has silver in it. Chips, the chips for you to be able to operate your laptop, turn on your cell phone, and God forbid that you're not able to use your cell phone. Touch screens where you can use it on your smart TV as well as your laptops and discussions, your PowerPoint presentations the next time you want to stand on there and you want to scroll over. These are battery operated in automotive industries. That's right. This is why Elon Musk plays an important source of copper and silver, because by 2023 going into 2030 and 2035, according to the G20, everything is supposed to be electric. So welcome to the world of this digital claim. This plays into a force and one of the others why I feel like it is so important that these top three be in your areas of the commodities market in regards to precious metals. Now, looking at it on the screen and sharing it with you of what its data source is out there, you can see, looking at it for 1 week, it's definitely held its value. Silver took a huge gain at this time last year in 2020, playing into the field when copper started toggling its switch, when digital currency started coming into the field a lot more heavier. So silver has always been the little sleeping child, that little stepchild that has come into play to say, I'm not going anywhere. Besides that, it's one of heavy use. So I hope that I have given you at least one word today in conversation of 3 precious metals that are out there in the commodities market to make you do some read and research, get on the US Mint or in your other countries, and look at the exchanges to see what's out there that you can invest in. And if nothing else, you can just buy one out there, put it in your safe and hold it. But make sure you know where you keep it safely keeping so that no one else can get to it. And I don't mean keep it in your centralized bank system, either in a savings safety deposit box. Banks are going out of style, people. You need to know where your money needs to lay. Even in digital currency, you have the fields of being able to do this with gold and silver too. So I am Peggy, and I'm here to update you guys, in not only in the crypto market, but also in the commodities area, just to let you know where you can lay your investment whenever you want to and be able to proclaim it of how you want to lay with what your money needs to do for you and not some government. You guys take care. You have a fabulous day, and I'll be seeing you really soon. Bye.